How are you guys? Welcome back to the channel. So this is a video on my trade recap from last week, the trades that I took. I took 4 trades last week. I managed to close 2 of them. One of them is still running and I lost one. My stop loss was hit on one. So I took one trade on Euro Swiss franc and 2 trades on Australian dollar against US dollar and one trade on US dollar, Canadian dollar. The first three I made profits, and the last one on Australian dollar against US dollar, which I took on Friday, I was stopped out with a loss. So we'll start with the Euro Swiss franc, how I spotted the trade and how I took it. So if we go up to the daily time frame, we can see that the market was moving down. Its impulse down created a correction, impulse down, and to me this one here looked like a bigger correction. This here, it looked like a bigger correction, just like this. So, and on that, I was waiting for the market to reach to the structure on the third touch. That way, I plan to enter. As you can see, it touched this structure one time, two time, and it was heading to the third touch up here. So on that touch, that's where I entered from. It got to the that touch correctly. This was last week on Friday. I didn't take the trade. So on Friday it also impulsed down and corrected a little. So on Monday I was waiting for a correction and I had planned to enter on the break of correction. I was just waiting for it to impulse down and I had planned to enter on the break of that correction, and that is what it exactly did. If you go to the if you go down to the 15-minute time frame, you can see that the market impulse down created a correction. This was on Friday. Did it enter that trade, and then it created another correction, and I entered on the break of that correction. I entered with a 40 pip stop loss. My stop loss, I just put it above this other structure because it was on a Monday. I feared that the market, it had created a smaller correction. I had fears that it might go back down and trickle back up to the other correction before impulsing down. That's why I had a bigger correction. I had a bigger stop loss, which was just above the previous correction, a 40 pip stop loss. And after I entered on the break of that correction, the market impulsed down a little and then it corrected for a few hours before impulsing down. And after this impulse right here, I moved my stop loss to break even. After that, it created another correction right here and it broke that correction and impulse down again. When it got to this trend line here, down here, I took partial profit. I moved my stop loss to 2% profit. I locked in some profits, 2%, because as you can see how the market was behaving, it was not giving me a sign of another correction to give me a sign that it was going to continue going down. After that, it corrected impulse a little and then it trickled up to my stop loss and it stopped me out at 2%. So we'll go to my next trade which I took, which was on Australian dollar against the US dollar. If you go up to the higher time frame, you can see that the market was approaching this area in form of a structure like a rising wedge which had touched the market had touched this structure 3 times. It had touched it here first time, second time, and here it was approaching it. It was approaching that structure when it was approaching it to touch it for the third time. It was forming a structure within a structure. This was another structure, which is a reversal structure, rising channel, which was a reversal structure, and with this it gave me a sign that the market was likely to reverse back down. So it did exactly that. As you can see, the market was correcting as it went up. When it reached to the third touch, it slowed down, and after this impulse down, I entered with this candle here, the first red candle, the big red candle, with my stop loss just above the structure, 55 pips stop loss, and then the market broke that structure impulsively. And after that, it broke that structure, it got to below that structure, and it started forming some sort. When it broke this structure, I had already moved my stop loss to break even. When it broke it impulsively, when it got down here, I took partial profits. I moved my stop loss down here where I took 1% profit, and then it started forming some sort of a correction. If you go to the 15-minute time frame, this looked like a structure to me, a continuation structure, and I entered on the break of this structure on the 15 minutes time frame. The market didn't move far enough from my stop loss for me to move my stop loss to break even. Remember, this one the first trade I'd already locked 1% profit, so the market didn't move according to how I expected. This was on a Friday. This trade I'd taken on Wednesday and already taken partials. Remember, guys, you should not add position if you have not break even your first trade. You should not add trades on top of other trades if you have not broken even the first trade which you had taken. So the market impulse backed up and it took me out for 1% profit. And for the first trade it took me out on 1% profit, and this second trade it took me at 1% loss. I lost that trade, which was on Friday. Um, my fourth trade was on US dollar against the Canadian dollar. As you can see, we'll go to the 1 hour time frame. The market had just impulse out of this structure, and then when it got up here, you can see on the 4 hour time frame it formed a head and shoulder, left shoulder, the head it's right here, and the right shoulder, and then it impulsed down, and then after impulsing it moved back up to test the head and shoulder in form of a structure, and then it impulsed back down. After the impulse back down, that's when I had planned to enter. After the impulse back down, you can see here the market was forming a structure in form of an expanding triangle, but I had planned to enter on the third touch. As you can see, the market had touched this structure first time, second time, and it headed to the third touch impulsively, so I couldn't enter with a risk entry. So after it impulsed out of the structure, it started forming a correction, which is a form of which is a reversal structure, and I entered on the break of that structure with a 35 pip stop loss. My stop loss just above the structure. The market impulse just a little and then corrected, and it impulse down. After this impulse right here, I moved my stop loss to break even. And as the market was going to close on Friday, I decided to take partials because on Monday you never know what might happen. A news might come out during the weekend and I end up losing all this profit. As you can see, the market, I was in 3.2% profit, and if you lose all this profit, it might affect your emotions and you start trade with emotions, which is not good. So I locked in 2% profit. I'm still holding this trade. I've moved my stop loss here to 2%. So on Monday, if the market opens and the market corrects back up or it impulse back up, it will take me at 2% profit. So guys, that was our video for today. And those are the trades that I took last week. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and refer other people to these videos. Thank you. If you have any question, ask on the comment sections. I'll answer them on the next videos. Please subscribe, like, and share these videos. Thank you.